Good morning. I'm Bradley McAllister, founder of Spiracraft, and this is Monday Methods, the 11:15 start. All right, not too bad. Good morning. I see Don's in here, Mark Thompson, Malcolm McEwen, Dwayne Chandler, Arthur Barber. Hey guys. Yeah, I'm a couple minutes behind the mark, but not the end of the world. It appears as though I need to go out and buy a new monitor. Seems as though the one over here that you guys can't see, you can't see any of them for that matter, the one that I see that tells me when to start and shows me what's going on in the encoding software. Good morning, Dan Hewitt. It turns out that the on-off little button that's down underneath, when I went to push it in, it went all the way in and disappeared into the cavity of the chassis of the TV, the monitor. And so it took me a while to get it turned on, because otherwise I wouldn't know when to say, hey, good morning. So it's always something in electronics land in the live stream world. Dan Hewitt is from Woodcut Tools. He's up early down in New Zealand. We're going to be working with the new Woodcut Proform Hollow or something today. And I've been out here for a while and I made a huge mess. I just piled it all up. I was getting some blanks ready to go. I think I've got everything pretty well in line. It is a wonderful Monday in South Georgia. It was in the 40s this morning, and it's dry. It was a lovely weekend. When you're retired, you're never late, and every day is Saturday. Well, good for you, Mark. Let me know how that works for you, and I'll let you know how it works for me when I get to the day of being retired. Most people, when they retire, Mark, they start wood turning. I think I'll quit wood turning and start fishing again. I fished when I was a little guy. I don't fish anymore. I need to go fishing. Lan Brady, good morning. Great to have you back. Great to be back myself here. So anyway, it's a great morning out here. It's nice and cool. It's not humid. It's all that good stuff. Other than a little bit of late, how'd you like the new little intro if you saw it by chance? I made it a little bit longer, so it gives me another 10 or 15 seconds to get from the control room to be over here and ready to go like that and say, hey, good morning and everything. So today we're going to work on some hollow forms. Spiracraft has a new product in the store. And like I said, Dan there, hey, Hogweb, Mr. Joe's in this morning. Joe, you're gonna have to change your name on there, Joe. I always forget who you are. The Woodcut Proform is a great little tool. I've just started working with it again, honestly, in the full disclosure format, and I like to show you how I learn things as well. So I've only used this a couple of times. Again, it's new to me. I was working with it last week and a little bit this weekend. It's really cool. It has a whole different principle, and I'm going to carry not this big one over there, but I'm going to carry another one over to the front camera. And I was working on some big stuff here. I got down there, I'll clean that up. But it's got a unique system, and I am going to walk over here and try and show you this because the other cameras are too hard to zoom. And so I'm going to bring this right up in front of that camera because it's the only one that will autofocus. And so I want to show you how this works. And you can see from the bottom, I get it all figured out. It has an S-curve, like a hook-style tool cutter to it. And then on top, it has a brass buffer, if you will, or cover. And that cover is what adjusts the cutting edge depth. And if I turn that just right, I know I'm pretty close, you can just right there see the cutting edge sticking out. And so this brass cap, if you will, which is adjustable, I don't get any good light down in there, and I'm not in the middle of the camera. There is a concentric nut down in here, and that allows you to adjust this. So you can adjust the amount of overhang in your cutter. Again, that's not the greatest shot, but you can see it pretty good. You can see the daylight in between there. You can see on this finger of mine, I had a little slip with a staple this morning. Nothing big, just a little bit of blood. So that's the type of cutter, and this is on the curved or bent neck that goes into the Proform handle. Okay, So that's the close-up. And these cutters work really cool. They're really slick. And along with that, I also have a special type of tool rest called the Iron Toolgate. And I haven't used this piece yet. I'm going to set it up today, though, while we're here. And what it does is your tool goes into this tool gate, and it keeps the tool from sliding, and it also allows you to pivot the tool right off of that in the tool rest. And you will notice, possibly you can see, yes, I have two different tool rests on the lathe this morning, right? Well, that seems a little crazy, but the post that works with the Proform tools has to drop down, and this white banjo allows that to happen. The black banjo over here that I typically use for my turning tools, the lever bar, the cantilever bar, goes right in the way, and the post won't drop down far enough. So I don't know what kind of craziness it's going to present for me, but I decided, because this one's hard to get on and off right now, just to load them both up on the lathe and work from there and adjust from there. And I will also be working with another tool with from Woodcut. Like I say, Spiracraft is carrying the Woodcut line now. This is the iron scraper, the fill iron scraper. I played with this some. This is a great little thing that we can use to clean up and refine the edges. Going to work with this some today too. I worked with it some this weekend. I was playing with an old dry piece of poplar, old hollow form that I had hanging around. It's got splits and cracks in it, so I'm not going to keep going with it, but I was working inside and all that good stuff, and that's what I was using the tools for. Today I've got two blanks. I've got this one, and then I've got another one over here as well, and I might start with the other one. It's a little bit bigger, and I think I'll start with it and make not a hollow form like the one I just showed you where it closes up real tight, but one that's more open, so we can see inside with the end camera. And I changed the end camera angle this morning. We'll see how that goes. I think I'll save this one for later, where we'll make a more of a slope top with a smaller entry hole to where we have to work down through a smaller hole. So I think we'll start with the bigger one first. And that's what I was out here doing this morning, making a big old mess, kind of getting all this stuff pseudo ready. Now I don't have, and I just washed that too. I don't have the tenons on this yet or anything. Both of these blanks are poplar. They are green, semi-green. They were cut several months ago, and they've been outside. Now this one, and they were not sealed or wrapped or anything. This one has some checks in it that we're going to end up cutting some of the top away. You can see it does have some spalting. We'll probably lose that when we make the shape or the form. The spalting is only showing up in the sapwood on this. It's too bad I don't have all sapwood in this poplar, because we'd have some nice spalting looking going on. But instead I have kind of a mix of sapwood and heartwood in here. This one also has a knot inclusion in it and things like that. But the first thing we want to do is just get a tenon on this. We're going to make this the bottom, so we can put it in a tenon or put it in the chuck. We'll make this the top where we can cut some of that away. Okay? All right, let me get you back in the front camera there. Waiting for video signal, it says on Facebook. I wonder if Facebook's going to be a pain today. I hope not. If you're here and you're on Facebook and it disappears, go over to YouTube. The YouTube feed seems to always hang in there. Facebook's turning out to be more and more trouble. It seems, I don't know why, and I'm seeing a note that says messaging is disabled for this page. God knows what's going on with Facebook. So if you're on Facebook and there's a problem, jump over to YouTube. You'll get a better feed. Okay? And it shows up there, just Spiracraft, and go to the live. Go click over and find live, and you should be right in there. Good morning, Jim Brinkman. I didn't see you come in earlier. It's okay for now. Yeah, I'm just seeing some crazy messages popping up on there. So anyway, I've got a steb drive and a rotating steb center in here. And that's what I'm going to use to set this up this morning, just to get the tenon on here. And of course, I put the banjo that's difficult to move at this end. I say I'm trying not to have to take things on and off so much. That white banjo is a pain in the neck. I need to do some adjustment work on it. There we go. And all I want to do is get a tenon on this end of this guy. Now this is, where's my infamous missing tape measure? This piece is about 10 inches in diameter, and right now it's 11 inches long, but looking at the splits that I see here and these splits in here, we're probably going to end up taking that top off. So it might be about 9 inches tall. And by the time we shape it, we put a flare to it, it'll be about symmetrical probably. But anyway, our first mission is to, hey, Mary Alice, good to see you. Hope you're doing well out in California. We want to get a tenon on this end. Now, I haven't set that camera yet, but it looks pretty good at the moment. So I'm going to do one thing that I didn't do earlier, because I changed the angle, which means I'm going to get my head in the way easier, but I'll try not to today, because I'm going to pivot this thing later on. But I do need to make a setting change here and fix my focus from autofocus to manual so that it will stay in focus. Okay. And so now I can pop you into the end there. And of course, I still haven't found my favorite calipers, which makes me mad. But we will make our tenon without them. Yep, you see I'm going to be sticking my head in the way, I can tell from that. But I'll do my best to keep it out of the way. Now this guy should turn fairly true. Hey, Scott Hampton's in here. Good morning. We got a good crowd of the regulars around today. This it's wet, so it's not, even though it's round, it's really not perfectly in balance yet. So it's going to shake a few things around here. This building is on plywood floor. John Phillips, what do you know, JP? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you here on Monday Methods. Okay, I'm just going to pare this down, and I'm actually going to use an Easywood Tools, a carbide square cutter, just to kind of cut some of this away. And since I'm on my end camera, I can walk around here. I'm also going to be using, I've set up a Nova chuck. Spyrecraft has started carrying the Nova chucks and lays. We have chucks and jaws in stock, and I have a Supernova out here today. And that's what I'm going to be mounting this guy with. And I'll just stick it in the camera here. Supernova with a set of 130 millimeter jaws. They call them 5. They measure from the outside. I call them 4.5 because I like to measure from the inside for my tenon. Paul McLean, good morning. So we haven't used the Nova chucks out here before, but I'm putting it into the lineup. This is the Supernova. And I'm going to use a different set of calipers because I can't find my good old standbys. So I'm just going to use a set of double-endeds today to get back to my normal method of making a tenon. The one that I'm just used to. That looks like that'll work right there. Again, I've changed the camera position a little bit, so forgive me if I happen to stick my head in the way at some point today. Just going to get a Easywood Tools mid-size rougher with the square cutter on it. Now I'm going to start to pare some of this away. We're turning about 550. Let's see, 650, there we go. Let's see how that works for us. And we're just going to take some of this away. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I just thought I'd use Easy Wood for this morning. I'll actually use Easy Wood tools, I'll use Carter & Son tools, I'll use woodcut tools, I'll use a little bit of everything today. Now the funny thing is, like I said, so this is a new chuck size for me, and a new set of jaw size. So I'm not used to making 4.5s, so they don't just come instantly off my brain. So I do want to bring that tool rest up a fuzz. We're not worried about that end grain tearing out because we're going to carve this away, put a shape to it. I've also got the speed pretty slow. Still a little low there. All right. Do. Getting real close. All right, that's good. Shorten it up just a little bit. Paul McLean. Paula, not Paul, excuse me. Paula, have you been here with us before? It seems like I remember the name, but I'm not sure. It's great to have you. I'm going to put a little dovetail profile on here. And make sure I have a nice flat seat. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit more off of that, just a fuzz. I want to make sure this tendon doesn't bottom out. Again, I'm working with a new set of jaws that I'm relatively unfamiliar with. So I want to make sure everything is good. Now, I want to cut a little shape into this guy before I take it out from between centers. One time a while back, okay. Like I say, I remember the name. The name seems familiar. Certainly glad to have you. Hopefully that's not shaking anything too crazy. And I think we'll just keep this shape simple today. Get this corner off of here. I might put a little recurve in the top. So I'm making sure I leave myself plenty of room here. Nice clean flat surface right there. I'll take the wing and make sure that's in good shape. Okay. Again, we're still turning fairly slow and this sapwood is a little soft. We'll see if we can clean that up with that scraper today before we turn this around. Or we'll do that once we get it turned around into our chuck. This one had a knot in it too when I was cutting it out with the chainsaw this morning. So it has its issues. And the other thing I need to do, I need to jump up here and I need to make myself a reference in the overhead, because see these checks that I've got here? So I want to go ahead and make myself a place I know where I'm going to cut away to. So this is going to shorten up. So somewhere in here, and hopefully those checks won't run past that. What's interesting is, so the bottom end, what was the bottom end was sitting in the grass outside. This was just exposed to the air. Okay. So there's my reference point. And this is an end grain piece, in case you're wondering. So I'm kind of prospecting right in here right now, just looking to see how that cleans up. At least we can keep, if I don't make it too much smaller, we can keep some of this spalting in here in this red color. We've got the green there as the default. Alright, so that gives me an idea where I'm going. Let me cut this off of here. Get some mass off of it. Okay. And try not to run out of tool rest there. Okay. Starting to get an idea of what we're going to do with this guy, I think. Again, that's waste wood up on the top. Okay. I do that a lot. Okay. Let's see. Now, what do we want to do? What do we do? What else do we want to do with this? I think we'll leave our final shaping for when we turn it around. I'd like to get this cleaned up as well as I can so I don't have to get close to the chuck. Okay, this end here. Good deal. Okay. Okay, he says. Pop the mask off for a second, get some fresh air. Let's go ahead and get this guy turned around, put it into the chuck, and we'll continue on. There's a little knot right in there now that showed up in the end, in that end grain. Okay. Spalting, a little bit of the spalting left. We won't carve it all the way. All right. Also, the woodcut Proform, the number, call it the number 1 kit, which is the ProMaster Hollow, or the ProMaster handle and the number 1. So this comes as a package, as a kit. It's in the store. It's on sale. Normally it's $269. I think I put a sale price on there of $249. So you don't even need a code. You just pop in there if you're interested in one of these today, and I'll leave it there through the week for $249 for the package for both. And my cheat sheet here says, I actually wrote the numbers down so I wouldn't forget. Also have the bent shaft available, and it's normally $139, and it's in the store, just sale price down at $129. So if you're interested today, after you see we work with these, just jump in the store and give her a go. Now I'm going to change chucks out here. I'm just going to leave this one set up just like that. That was a Sorby chuck. So right now, Spydercraft carries the Sorby chuck, carries the Easywood Tools chuck, and the Nova chucks. So we have 3 brands of chucks available in the store. Also carries, and I'm not trying to make a sales pitch on all the different tools, so I'm just filling time here. Sorby tools, Easywood tools, Woodcut tools, Carter & Son Toolworks tools. Quite the array of tools in good old Spydercraft in the store. Hope that wasn't important, whatever fell off. Is that little nub going to fit in there clear? I'm going to take a chisel and take that little teeny nub right there off just to be safe. I was using that spur style or step drive instead of a live center with just a point. I would take that down to just a little cone there, but this piece is pretty heavy, as I determined when I was roughing it out this morning. So I decided when I had it between centers there, I wanted a little more bite. I had put it on a faceplate with short screws this morning. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in a hurry, and I actually, the screws wallowed loose, and that's why I went back between centers with it. That shouldn't give me any trouble now. I'm certain that the tenon doesn't bottom out, but I just want to be double sure. Okay. All right. This guy still got some heft to it. There we go. So I'll put you in the overhead there, and you can just see I've got 3/16 of an inch gap right in here. So a nice gap, and I'm double checking, looking down inside, and my tenon is just shy of touching the bottom, so I have a nice size tenon there, and my jaws are gripping it well. Turns pretty true, as a matter of fact. Now these, like I say, these are bigger jaws than I've been running. These are 4.5 is how they measure inside. Again, Nova calls they're 130s. They measure on the outside. In my brain, I usually measure on from the inside because I'm almost always making tendons and not mortises. Again, this wood is green. I'm going to let that compress. Let that shrink up just a little bit because the wood is green. I'll let that compress, so I'll talk for a second. Any kind of questions while I'm getting this up and ready? I'm wide open. I got chips all over me. This one, like I say, was freshly washed. I hate being dirty when I'm started out clean, you know. I was a mess out here this morning. See, I got a couple more degrees of tightness on that. So again, I'm letting those fibers crush in. All this top here is going to get cut away. We'll just get rid of that. Got some nice color right in there. Again, let me pop you in the overhead. Too bad the whole piece isn't that way, but hey, you get that sometimes. Okay. All right. Let's see how this guy turns. We'll true it up some more. It is one of those pieces, you can see it shaking there, that is out of balance. In the wood. The wood is wet and it's wetter. And this will happen sometimes. The wood is wetter on one side, one portion of it, than the other. So it can be perfectly true and perfectly round, and you'll still get that vibration because there's so much mass and so much weight, and it's got more moisture on one side of it than the other. That one can really mess with you when you're trying to figure things out a little bit. Like, why is this doing this? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the end here. And I'm going to bring that tailstock back up just to be safe. I'll bring tailstock back into place, and as I start to carve away, get rid of this top and work on the shape. But I want to clean that up first. Do, 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 do. Get a nice clean true center here for the drive to touch to. Okay. I'm in that end camera, so I'm going to come this way for a second. There we go. Okay, now we'll get rid of all this wood here, all this nasty crack stuff. That we don't need or want. True this up a little bit more. Keep it happy. Pop you in the overhead there. Alright, just going to get rid of all this excess right in here. pop you back on the end. If it didn't have cracks in it, you could make it an interesting profile there. If it didn't. And then we'll do this the easy way. If we can get in here. Take a little parting tool. Probably take my tailstock out of the way now. Move this banjo up to the end where it's not in my way for a moment. I think I got a bearing. This lathe's got a lot of miles on it, and I think I got a bearing starting to go on this. Now, if I'm lucky, because I didn't look for it, I'll be able to find my drill bit here in a little bit. But let's see about cleaning this up. This is the iron shear scraper, and I used it a bit yesterday and the day before, and I'll see if I need to sharpen it or not. So you have three sides here, and you rotate it. So you sharpen all three sides, and then you rotate it. When one side gets dull, it gets a little burr. You raise a little burr with a diamond card on it. I got all these different Allen wrenches up here today. I'm going to get Allen wrenches with different keyed handles for all these different tools that are using them. So you can actually leave that a little loose if you want to and rotate it around and not get vibration. If you start to get vibration, then you go ahead and tighten it back up. I'm just going to leave it kind of snug like so. And I'm going to pop you back into the overhead. And again, this is a new approach for me. Something that I haven't really used before, but I am quite excited and curious about it. So with the tool, and you can just kind of barely see it. So I'm going to pop you back in the end camera. We don't run it flat. We want it about 45 degrees rotated. And about a 15-degree angle on the cutter with the handle up. And let's see what we get. And this will help us refine our shape and clean this up. And you can see we're getting a nice shaving coming off of there. Especially once I get it a little bit smoother. So it's just peeling the wood right off of there and cleaning that right up. It looks pretty good in the end camera. You won't be able to see the back end from the end camera. But I'm going to make one more pass up through here before I go to the other side, so I'll turn the camera for you. Okay, and that cleans it up. We start to get our shape refined. Let me pop you into the overhead now. And I've got a knot down here, and I've got a band in here. So I'm looking at my monitor now. My upper camera is just a little far away. You won't quite be able to see me right in here too well. But as I come around, you'll be able to see it better. You can change hands. You see that nice clean shaving coming off there. Now, don't want to hit my chuck. You see that nice ribbon coming off of there? That's pretty cool shaving for a scraper to take off. Real clean and fine. Okay. A little bit more work right in there. I'm not going to get super carried away with the outside of this today because we're kind of here more to play with the insides. We're here to play with all of it. And again, if I want to rotate the cutter, I can just rotate the cutter. Now I used all three sides of this on dry hardwood yesterday, and I have not cleaned it back up with the diamond card file. I'm going to come right up here to the very center section. Just roll around that corner and get that cleaned up as well. Okay. Again, I will come back and play with this. It's interesting because it's going to move a little bit. I want to see how much it moves when I take the center out. Now, what I need to find, what I'm hoping to find, is my drill. To drill a hole down through the center of this, and I didn't look for it. And I have a twist bit. I'm not set up to drill with a Forstner bit yet. And I have a long drill bit on a handle that I haven't seen in a long time. But that doesn't mean that it's not here, because I have all kinds of things scattered around in here. Got a homemade handle, and I may or may not come across it. And if I don't, well, it's not the end of the world, but it does behoove you to drill a hole down the center of your piece. It will make it easier. If I don't find my drill quickly, I'm not going to sweat it. I knew I was going to look for it, and I didn't, and I don't see it. It might even be out of the warehouse still with travel tools and things like that. But I'm going to go ahead and switch banjos around. I still want to do a little gouge work here. And when I switch banjos, I also, for this, I have to switch the post lock. I'm looking for a happy speed. Happy seems to be around 650. Happiest. I'm trying to decide if I just want to leave this shape just like that, more or less. And I don't think I'm going to change this. I thought about maybe rolling this over a little bit, and maybe I will. It's got a long straight side on it. Let's see. You know how I work. I tend to change my mind from time to time. I think I will. I think I'm going to change this just a little bit just for fun. Again, I'm going to leave it plenty thick so we can come back and refine that later on. And the reason I change it now is because that sets where my opening is going to be. And I can refine this outside shape whenever I get the urge here after a while. Okay. All right. So. Now I'm going to start out, I'm going to turn this about 20 degrees, and I'm going to adjust that end camera. Nah, my dad says he's here. I finally figured out how to comment on this AM. Okay. Good to see you, Dad. What you up to? So I want to turn that a little bit, just so I don't have to lean my head in there quite so much. And so that I don't have to get in your way. So when I stand here, hopefully I can come in with the tool and stay out of your way, and you'll be able to see the tool work. Okay, I want to set that right about center there. Looks like it maybe could go up a little bit. I'll start out without the tool gate, the iron tool gate. I'll bring that into play here in a bit. Okay. Again, if I wanted to adjust this, and I'm going to zoom this camera in, and so I need to make a change here. Let me change the camera over to the overhead for you, just so that you're not getting dizzy while I do this. And I need to change the focus to auto for a second. And then I'm going to adjust this camera, get this in real nice and close. Try and get you a good look at it. There we go. So again, here's the tool. You can see the profile. The tool is cut around. It's a hook style tool. You can see inside the hook. And then the brass dome is what sets the little edge there. Okay. And it will make a nice peeling cut. It's actually cutting, it's not scraping like a scraper does. It can be sharpened up, tuned up with a diamond card. Okay, and again, if I would normally drill a nice hole down the center of this, I didn't. But we'll use this to make our hole. See, if I had a hole there, and what I can do, I can do one thing here, make my life a little easier. Got a negative rake on it. I'll just take, I really wish I had my drill handy, but I don't. We'll just deal with it. It's not the end of the world. So you see, you get nice shavings coming off of there. Again, I'm trying to keep myself out of the way. Now let's see if we can't just go ahead and get rid of our nub there, even using this tool. Because the cutter doesn't come all the way around. It's a little tough. A little tougher there. Just curious here. Bound to be a way to conquer this. Oh yeah. Just don't let the nub build up. My goggles are a little fogged. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Mary Alice. All that time I was on the overhead camera. That's why I have that chat column so that I can see. So you'll see now that it switched after the 20-second delay. My bad, guys. If I had a producer and goggles that weren't fogged, I might have seen that sooner. I'd say you can see the difference on the replay, but obviously there'll be no replay of those first cuts. But we're in there now. So now you can see the end, correct? I do apologize for that. I was just having so much fun carving away in there. And I'm going to also move my fan over here, get myself a little more breeze. Well, I hope you enjoyed the overhead view there as I was working. So Scott, all you have to do is leave what I think it's Arizona, no, or you're in California. I'm trying to remember. And all you gotta do is come to Georgia, and I'll put you in the producer's chair. And we'll have a great time. So what I want to do now that I've gone in there a couple inches just with the standard tool rest, and now that I've switched the camera over for you as well, I want to go ahead and set up the iron gate tool rest. And I know I have to reach across. Actually, I'll walk around. And I believe I have the right post for this. I'm going to bring myself a little board up here for a second to work on. So I'll pop here in the front shot for a minute as I set up the tool rest. I say, this is the post that came, yes, with my bowl saver, so I can utilize that. So I just use the bowl saver post, and I'll show you there in the overhead. I just took it off the bowl saver earlier, and it threads right into the threaded section here of the tool gate. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 6 holes here in the end that we can put the actual piece in. The collar, the holder, the tool holder. And while I've got it in the overhead, you'll notice that in the profile, get my handy dandy pointer out, you've got a shallow, a narrower notch here and a wider notch here, and you'll see that the tool shaft can go in the lower part, or the tool handle shaft can go in the upper part there. Get that a little bit better shot for you there. So 2 different staged areas here, okay? And it has a clip, and I'm just going to start I'll just put it in the middle, and it's got a circlip, if you will, that goes on the bottom of that. And now this is free to spin all the way around. And so we're here in the overhead. So the collar stop there, I had to move it. So I want to adjust this to where my tool is going to be cutting at center again. Find the right wrench here, which is the one that's over there. And you can't see, the best you can see, this is in the overhead. So I'm going to raise that up. Okay, I want to go a little bit higher. That's just about centered. Tighten down the stop collar. Again, I've got the end camera in so close that you can't see that. But now, without going inside the piece, the tool can sit down in the bottom part, or the handle can sit up in the top if you're reaching real far over. Okay? And it all can pivot, or you can lock down and just pivot here. Okay? Now, this is the first time I've used this, the Irons tool gate. So this is a new one, but it gives me leverage. So as you see, and you can see in the overhead, I can lever against the tool gate as I make my cuts. All right. Now I will go back to, well, I'll leave it in the overhead for a second. Get my mask back on. So I'm in the overhead there for you. Oop, I didn't make that tight. My bad on that. All right. And I'm going to actually back this up some. Find that balance spot that is comfortable for me. Again, I'm new working with this particular tool rest here. And I'll look for the sweet spot. So I'm going to play with that until I find what feels about right. Okay, so that feels pretty good. Let me go to the end camera for you now that I remembered to change to the end camera. And I may move that tool rest over a little bit. Again, as I work to, if I get my shoulder in the way, please holler at me and let me know. Being in the tool gate feels real solid and stable. I like that leverage, and it feels like I have a little more control to swing the tool. I'm going to raise that up so audio's a little bit better. Much easier to work in the center now that I have that pivot point and the tool can't move. So when I couldn't drill down before with the tool, now I can pretty easily work my way down in the center there. And again, I used the big opening on purpose today so you can see the type of, this is the type of shaving that's coming out, not dust. If I was in here with a scraper, I would be scraping, and with that actual cutter here, actually making the cut, that's really sweet. And I feel now that I put it in the Irons Toolgate, much more control. I'm going to pop this up here and talk to you. I got my thing on. Once I put the Toolgate in here, I can then pivot much more comfortable, much more confident feeling with that pivot point. I've never used this before. The first time I've ever stuck it in a tool rest. And in 30 seconds, I could tell a difference on how I like that way that works. So that's pretty cool. I'll pop you back into the end there now. Again, I've got my face shield on. I just don't have the mask down so that I'm not quite so muffled. And so if this is my wall thickness that I want to leave for right now, I'm going to play with this outside profile later on. Trying to keep my shoulder out here. That's why I'm playing with the camera angles. Fantastic control right there. So I'm going to come and dig myself way down in the middle here a little bit. I will go find my drill bit before too terribly long. Not today, not while we're working here. So I'm just going to bore my way down in here a bit. Very, very good control. I'm really impressed with that control. And now I can start to work sideways. And if I want to go ahead and move my banjo over to change the orientation of the angle, if I want to be able to swing further in. Sorry for I see my head there in the replay now. That's the downside of having the camera there. I'll try and stay out of the way here. See, normally I would be leaned way over, so I'm going to move this tool rest back over to help my angle a little bit. And I need a little bit more so I can get down that wall. Okay, trying not to get my shoulder in the picture. I see my head's popping in there just a little bit. Now, if I want to, I can also move that right inside and take away that overhang issue. Okay. And so here's an interesting thing. I moved the banjo back towards me, and now the tool, if I come into the center, I can lever right off of this pivot point, and looking at the overhead, you can just barely see it. So with the tool coming, the tool is at this angle now, drops down into the tool gate. When I start in the center, and then I can lever that all the way up to the side. So I'm going to leave it there for a moment in the overhead. Yes, so I think I'm just now seeing your question, Steve. So yes, you could stick the tool gate all the way inside. I think you saw that. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and change the camera for you to the end camera. And I'm standing way back over, I know it's kind of funny. I'm way back over behind the piece. And so when I'm cutting towards the sides, I'm not really cutting the end grain, I'm cutting the side grain, and I get those big, giant peeled shavings coming out of here. Okay? I mean, this thing, it really is phenomenal on how smoothly it's cutting. And again, you're getting my first impression with the tool gate, and really my first impressions with the Proform. So, you know, I worked with it, but I didn't have the tool gate set up, and I was on some dry wood. This is green, and this makes it just super easy. And I can stand way back over here and dig down this, bore down the center of this piece. And it looks like you can still see what I'm doing there in the camera pretty well. So now you know why it would be great to drill yourself a hole down the middle, make it a little bit easier on you. And then when I come across, you know, I hate to steal that phrase, cuts like butter. But that really does. And I'll stop to clean out the chips. But they're not really chips, they're long tails. Okay? All right, this is fantastic. I'm having a ball. It's 12:30. Keep up with the questions. Any questions in the comment column, gang? I'm trying to look over there more often. I'm having so much fun in here. But I'll keep looking over, and I'm just going to kind of keep working on this. Now I will change the tool shaft over for the curved one. I don't need it, so I can do all this with the straight one, but we'll put it in here. Again, because of the cameras, having this tool gate here, clean up those chips now. So when I put the tool into the center, and I'm pivoting, I'm pushing right against the tool gate right here. I'm popping the overhead. I know the camera angles aren't perfect today. But you can see right here, I mean, that's the pivot, and I'm leaning, I'm putting the pressure right on the tool shaft right there. And that leverage makes that cut a lot easier. And the tool doesn't run around. So I just keep taking the nub away. And then once I've got a little wall built up, I just come right up through here. I'm sorry about my mask. I'll put my mask down. That will help. And so it moves so much wood so quick. Got to stop there. Again, I apologize for my mask because the camera angle is such that it is. Let me do something here real quick. I put it over there, but I'm going to change it and make an adjustment. So I'm going to change that whole camera angle to put it further back over there for a minute, guys. And maybe you'll still be able to see it. I'll see what I can do and not get my head in the way. So I'm going to put you in the overhead there for a sec. Give you time to formulate a question or two. Swing my boom. I call it a boom. It's not really a boom, but hey, what could I say? So it's dark in there when I do that. But if we do that, that helps. You can't quite see inside as much. I need to lower the camera down. Let me see something here. Hang with me for a minute. Hang in there. I don't know if I have the right Allen wrench around. I could move my boom down. I'd love to get you straight on in there. Let me see if I can do this real quick. If it's going to be a major ordeal, I won't bother with it. But if I can lower this angle of this camera without having to reinvent the wheel, I will do it. So Steve, if you're here, or Scott, not Steve, Scott, if you're here, you could be adjusting this camera for me. Of course, you could be on, I'd have a guy on a dolly. All right, this could be a much better. All right. Tighten that back up a little bit. Yeah, you don't want to be seen just moving around, but all right, tighten that up. Didn't have to reinvent the wheel here. Oh yeah, with dry, well, I can show you how it cuts onto dry wood. I haven't tried resin yet. I know we talked about that the other night in our Thursday night. Y'all need to come join. If you haven't joined the Monday Methods Wood and Resin Turning Group, join and then come in here on Thursday nights. I'm back out here in the studio and we do a live actual video conference, you know, classic kind of Zoom style, but it's Google Meet. And all right. Let's see if we can keep me out of the way on this. Still kind of dark back up in the hole. Let me adjust the light. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. What do you think of this, guys? I know there's a 20-second delay from when I asked you that, and so I'll have a sip of soda. Yeah, Scott, it'd be great to where if you could control, you could set up, some things could be controlled from afar. Something I'll look into. In my spare time, I will look into how we can do that. So how's that view like that? Does that look a little better? You can see down inside there, I got the tool gate just off to the side. All right. You can see the pivot. Okay. Let me put my mask back on. We'll do a little bit more like that. Time-wise, we're what, 12:37 it looks like. All right, let's see what happens. So I'm going to move this back in a little bit closer. I get a shadow just because. Okay. Because I got a light shining right on it. Trying to keep my hand out of the way. I'm going to adjust that for my comfort. I'm going to actually raise that tool rest up just a fuzz. A little more height on that. Again, it takes a little bit of adjustment. Like the first time I've had this set up. So once you've got things set where everything's dialed in, you're pretty good to go, I think. Do I have Cindy Drose's light? No, because if I did, she'd be mad that I stole it. No, I know what you're saying, Jim. I know I don't want to have one of her lights. I don't have any lights that go in close, and there's a long story about an event at the woodworking shows and electrical cords going around inside, wrapped up in a piece in front of an audience. It's kind of an interesting day. Okay, so what I'll do, we're talking about that vibration, so I'll move this inside a little bit. Take some of that away. Now it's going to change my angle a little as well. We'll see how that does. Maybe Cindy will send me one, Jim. But somehow I doubt it. So again, if I had drilled a hole down the middle here, I wouldn't have to do this extra work with the center section, and I could just come right in here. Trying to keep my hand down. This looks like my arm gets in the light there a little bit. So I'm just going to do something for my own interest here. I'm going to back this up to where I'm going to extend all, that's about 12 inches or so. Yeah, she sees my credit card number. I'm going to hang 10 inches of bar out over, I'm going to put the Dan, you can yell at me for this if you want. I'm going to hang 10 inches of bar out and put the handle in here. Just kind of curious to see how the flex is there. It's always fun to do new things with with tools when the owner of the company is watching. I just wanted to see if I could, what happened when I reached 10 inches inside there. Now I know what they do actually, and I just wanted to try that. I took my glasses off. If folks want to reach real far with these, and I only have one handle right now, what they do is they'll run the shaft in and they'll add another handle. You can take these handles and stack these handles together. So I could put the cutter head right up against the head of the tool and put another tool. That's why this barb is here on the back end, ferrule, if you will, sticking out. And I could have another handle on here and have great leverage and a nice thick, stiff piece to reach 20 inches out there with the cutter right up against the handle itself. So a lot of flexibility there. Let's go ahead. I haven't changed this over, and it's 1/4 to 1. I'm gonna, I just dropped the Allen wrench in the chips. I just want to put the bent neck on because I haven't yet. Okay. So I'm going to change this around. I like this handle. This ProMaster handle is nice, solid. It's got a great grip on it. It's real comfortable. So same cutter, same system. It's just bent. And I was playing with the adjustment on this some the other day on the harder dry wood. Trying to just come to get a good understanding on how the cam, the concentric bolt camming action, levering action works inside. So I haven't tested the way I've got it set on this green wood. Just giving you that heads up ahead of time. Again, I'll show you here. This end camera is so nice and close. What you do, I'm not gonna actually loosen it up, but this bolt right here, it comes with a wrench, and you loosen up the big silver bolt, and then right behind it, right here is another Allen head style bolt. You just kind of see that black bolt in there, and it's concentric, and so as you turn it, it moves the brass head forward or back when you press against it and align it, and you can adjust how much overhang you have on your cutter there. Okay, so that's how the whole system works. That's the premise on how this works, and it does it quite well. All right, get my mask all squared away here. Let's see, we've got our swan neck. So now I'm going to reach around the corner like so. I think I'll move this up closer. I think I'll move it over a little bit. Again, first time with it. Probably going to want to come up to there. So I'm adjusting this distance here off of the wood. Move that in a little bit closer. I have, because like I said, I played with the adjustment. I have a very, very fine cut on it right now. But I'm using the same principle. I'm getting the same type of peelings, shaving coming out, and I'm able to work it back around the corner that I couldn't see, as if my hole was smaller there. All right, and we can stick it in there even further, like so. And the other thing we could do, we can move this on these different pins too, if we don't want the overhang on the iron gate itself. All right. I think it's because it's what? It's almost 10 till. So here's what I'm going to do. Now that I've had fun playing inside, I'm going to go jump back up here. I'm going to jump back up to the outside now that I know this has moved some. And I'm going to clean this up. Again, I'm going to finish up with the scraper just to have fun on the outside, because it's about as far as you can see down on the inside with the camera there. Okay. So let me turn this back around, make a few changes. Good time if you've got any questions to fire them into the comment column there. Lock things down real well. I've had fun out here today. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this with the Proform Hollerer. I'm really pleased on how this works. I'm going to set that tool iron gate back off right out here. Maybe I'll just leave my white one in place. This white one is it's actually the one that came with this Colt lathe, and it doesn't really let you get the banjos or the tool rest down low enough sometimes where you need it. Okay. And what I'm going to do real quick, I'm trying to remember to sharpen this. I have a diamond card. I should have a diamond card here. And Dan can correct me if I do this incorrectly. If I can find my diamond card. It's supposed to be right up here. First one. I'll pop this in the overhead. So the whole concept is that there's a burr on the cutting edge. And once you lose the burr, it doesn't cut as efficiently. So the first thing you do is you come across, I'll use the 600 side of my diamond card. You come across the top of the piece, cutter, and take what burr was there off. Okay? And then we come in across the face of the piece, across the cutting edge, with our diamond card, keeping it flat. And we want to stroke up at an angle, and that puts a fresh burr up on the piece, on the cutting edge. And Dan, if I'm getting that wrong, pop in and let me know. So we're lifting a little teeny burr up onto the top of the cutting edge. And that's what, as you come by, that little burr is what makes this really, really work. And I'm just holding it in my hand. Okay. Let's see how much that thing moved, by the way. Not too bad. Dan says all good. Okay. I didn't mess up in front of the boss too bad. That's one of the things, I always want, you guys who, watch me out here on Monday Methods, you get in the real deal. If I don't know something, I'm going to ask. If I don't do it right, I'm going to ask, especially when I know that I've got Dan in here. I don't mind working with a new tool the first time, because you're going to get a new tool, whatever it might be, any of the stuff that I work with. At some point, it's going to be new to you. And if I have the opportunity to work with it when it was new to me, to show you what I did or how I went about understanding how the tool works, I think that can only help you. I'm not worried about looking like I don't exactly know how it works. I don't have a problem with that. I've never used it before, and everybody has to start with a new tool somewhere. And so I'm happy to show you my first times with the tool, so you can see and get my impressions and my response to what was happening, and what changes or adjustments, or how I might have tried to do something different to understand how the tool works. That's what this is about. A lot of times here on Monday Methods, I'll do things and I hope it goes wrong, so that I can show you how to recover from that. That's part of what it's about here, and that's why it's live, and I don't edit this after the fact. When it stays out there, it stays live. It stays unedited. Uglies and all. So that's just how I work, and most of you folks know that, but I just, in case anybody was new here and was wondering about that, that's how I work. All right, into the overhead. Let's work with this scraper a little bit more. Again, 45 degrees. It's a good shot in the end camera at the moment, up there on the front edge. Let's see just what we can do with this. Let's just find out. Let's push it. Let's push it. It's just a piece of wood. So let's see what happens here. Just how much can we clean this up? So 45 degrees. Handles up about 15. See how we're getting that peeling, shaving coming off of there? Now, this is a little out of round up in here. Keep my 45 degrees. Come back around, come back. So if I just want to clean up this profile, remember that I left this pretty rough. Okay. All right, so now I'm just starting to roll that over. I think I'm going to speed it up a little bit if I don't get vibration. Horrible vibration. I'm seeing a little bit in the camera there. And that's definitely I've rolled that whole profile over. Now, just for fun, I'm going to see if I can't come around on this real harsh edge here, and you can see I've got some divots in it. Just out of curiosity. I was looking for some more speed there, but I'm going to back that back down. And let's see if we can't, how much we can roll this all the way over. I know that's shaking some there. Now, can I do this with a ball gouge? Sure, I could. But this won't leave any trailing marks. And also my tool rest has got some little nicks right in there. And it's kind of, I don't know if you can see from the vibration, it was kind of skipping along. So I'm going to hit that with my file real quick. And again, the scraper is, I mean, it is a finish, a last fine finish. So it does, that little burr, it doesn't last a long time. That's why you have the 3 sides, so that you can rotate it to the a fresh side. You can also, it looks like I'm playing with, what I'm doing now is playing with moving around on the cutter a little bit, somewhere that I haven't been using before. I might have my elbow in the way there. I'm trying to go all the way around to the front edge of this. There we go. Again, there is the type of shaving I'm getting. And I was able to, that's torn up, just torn up from the inside, but I was able to just roll that whole nose over right there. And again, I'm zoomed in real tight, I understand. Let me back it up just a little teeny bit so you can kind of see what I was doing. So I just rolled that whole profile over right through here. I'm going to adjust my tool rest and continue to rake all the way across here. In the overhead, you can see how I've rolled that over now. I'm going to leave it up in the overhead for a minute. 45 degrees at a 15 tilt. Clean part of the cutter there. Get a nice shaving coming off. So I still have a good burr there. Okay. And that cleaned that right up. Okay. Just roll that over nice and smooth. So then I would come back in down through the whole, over the whole profile of this piece. I might go around and freshen up all my edges so that I could just rotate through. And come back and clean this piece up all the way around. Takes quick work of it. And again, because you have the 3 sides, unlike taking your, say your negative rake scraper, which you'd have to go over 3 times with a big tool, you can just rotate this right around and clean everything up. All right, so it is 1 o'clock, straight up. I see that. I just happened to look up. Not that it matters. Hey, I started 15 minutes late. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found the Woodcut ProForm hollower, both in the straight and the bent, interesting. I found it interesting. I think it really works well. Go back, watch the replays on this. Again, it's got the straight. Right now, we, in stock in the U.S., the straight cutter and the handle as a kit, and then the gooseneck as a addition, a change. In November, we'll have a bunch more parts, but those are available now. They're in the store. They're on sale this week. Again, I don't know where my little cheat sheet flew off to. $249 instead of $269 for the handle and the straight shaft, and I think $129 instead of $139 for the bent neck. Okay, gang? So that was a great time. Have a wonderful Monday. Enjoy. If you're getting in this nice weather, enjoy it. Thank you for coming and hanging around with me. I had a great time today. Don't know what I'll be up to here next week. It'll be something. What else? I don't know what else. Got new things coming. New things coming into the store. I've been adding the Nova products again. We've got the Nova Supernova, and we've got the Chucks Jaws and the Jaw packages in stock. Again, trying not to put a sales pitch in here, but keep an eye on things. I'm slowly adding new products to the Spiracraft store all the time to make things available for you. Again, I appreciate everybody coming out. Have a safe week. I will see you hopefully on Thursday night. Come on out here and chit chat. It'll be nice and cool. We'll be in a video conference. We can actually talk back and forth. And if I don't see you then, I'll see you next Monday for Monday Methods and another topic. Thanks, gang. Have a great day. Have a great week. I'm going to leave in the overhead.